Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it is Sunday, March 19th, right at 3 p.m. It is a beautiful day. Temperature's right at 59 degrees, humidity's right at 27%, and it feels great. So I'm just going to take advantage of this weather and move the hives that you see here that Bill gifted me over the last week. So hive, of course, we'll just call that number 2, number 3, which is all mediums, and number 4, which is a deep with a medium on top. And their activity, minus number 2 here, 3 and 4 I guess you could call it, are very nice. This one, number 2, even though it doesn't look great, I cracked the hive bodies apart over the last week, and they actually have a decent amount of bees in there. I'm not sure why they're not flying as much as the others. But yeah, hey, I'm just going to take advantage of the weather and get some equipment set up and transfer the bees that Bill gave me into my equipment so I can get his equipment back to him. And that'll be it. This will also be the first time that I've gotten into any of these 3 hives, so it'll be a pseudo inspection at the same time, and I'll share anything interesting that I come across. I have a feeling these 2, I'll have quite a bit to share, because again, check out the front porch activity on these 2 hives, and I can see from here they are bringing in a ton of pollen. So we'll see how that goes. Bill said both of them are probably ready to split, and I've been erring on the side of caution because so it's like the 3rd week of March. Sometimes we still get some cold snaps and some freezes that come through. In fact, if you can believe it or not, we're under a freeze warning until tomorrow morning. That was for inland Onslow County, which I thought we were, but you would never tell. And the forecast overnight, the lows are down in like maybe the 40s, so not freezing at all. So anyway, I want to split them as early as possible, but at the same time, I've split colonies in the past in March. A cold snap and a freeze comes through and ended up killing those colonies. So I'm not trying to create any more issues or headaches than I already have over the last few months. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the previous videos from this winter where we lost all but 1 of our hives. So anyway, enough me yapping. Let's get into 2, 3, and 4 and see what they are up to. All right, we got the smoker lit. Let's do a bit of a first look with you. If I can get the outer cover off. So Bill has some pretty cool inner covers. Granted, they provide about 2, if you can tell, 2, maybe 2.5 inches of space, but it's enough space to provide an inner feeder like this one here. And Bill gave me a heads up, pretty much don't be surprised if the top box doesn't look all that great. So I'm just going to move through the frames. Like I said, I'll show you anything interesting, and we'll get into the bottom box where I suspect most of the bees are at. Not a lot going on. I'll set the top box aside, and this is what I want to see. I want to get into the bottom box here and find the queen, and then move everything right next door into that 10 frame deep box. But nice looking bees. Maybe they just have enough food in here to where they don't need to get out and fly much, but we'll go frame by frame and figure out what they're up to. Bit of a shadow, but this is the inside of the very first frame. So as I transfer everything, I'm just going to put it exactly how I found it. So I figured, you know, first look, I haven't seen inside here and neither have y'all, so why not just let the camera roll and we will discover stuff together. They got some pretty nice nectar. Good Lord. Wait till you see this frame. That's got some weight to it. So I am going to be looking for signs that they are queen right, and that is obviously by finding eggs and or the queen. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I don't know if they have a marked queen either, but the first thing that I see that hopefully I can fix by treating the colony is, if you can see that or not, it looks like that brood was chewed out, so possibly a sign that they have something going on, virus or mites. So I'll have to kind of get to the bottom of that quickly. This frame has some weight to it also. And there's some capped brood. There's some capped brood in the center there. I'm just checking the surrounding cells for eggs. I don't see any. There's some nectar dripping out. So they're definitely it's a hive beetle. And it's already gone. So this is kind of interesting. This bee was hatching and died with its tongue sticking out. And I'm pretty sure that's a sign of something. I just don't remember what that something is right now. Yeah, I'll definitely have to treat them. And things should get a lot easier on treating here shortly. And that's not because Paul is kind enough to let me borrow his vaporizer, but I might have something coming in the mail very, very soon, and I will be sure to share that with y'all. So that is a heavy, heavy frame. Alright, so far, not much brood, ton of honey. No signs of the queen just yet, but not to fret. As you can see, we have 3 frames to go. Maybe that's why. So there's a suprasedral cell right there, if you can't see that or not. And so far, again, I don't see any eggs. And they have a ton of honey. Almost enough honey to say they're honey bound. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, so suprasedral cell, not the best looking either. Alright, much lighter frame. And nope, I thought that was an egg, but it's not. Some capped brood, very spotty looking capped brood. So it kind of makes sense why the front entrance really doesn't have that much activity at all. I also need to check the top box because I just moved them over, but they did have some bees on it, and you never know until you look. Ah, crap. But there is a chance the queen could be in the top box. I don't think she would be. Got a few drones on this frame. And they are queen right. Alright, well that's kinda, it's odd. Well, maybe not odd. Yeah, some larvae right here, and sure enough, there's eggs. Maybe I just bumped the queen off this when I dropped the frame. But yeah, sure enough, there are, let me grab my flashlight. Oh no. Oh, I wish this would come up on camera. So there are eggs in, looking around. There's a few cells that have multiple eggs, not every single one. The majority have one. That one has 3. Let me count the cells that have multiple eggs. So 1, 2, 3. So not every, I haven't experienced that before. So not every cell has multiple eggs. There's only a few. So I don't know if that means we have a true laying worker situation or a new queen. Let's take a look down here. And like I said earlier, or I think I said it, I don't know if Bill has this queen marked or not. So I'm just gonna take this box off, bump them, essentially bump the rest of them into their new home. And if that doesn't work, I don't know what will. Alright. A little chaos, but I created it. Yeah, let me get into the medium box, see if I can find the queen or anything that resembles her. Find 2 deep frames and then close this one up. All right, I think that's as good as we're gonna get right now. There's not many bees remaining in the medium box. They've already flown off. So I'm just gonna close them up. As you can see, the rest of the bees will make their way back into this box here in a second. And in fact, let me put everything back exactly where it was, meaning just slide this deep over, because that's where they've been used to coming to. And that's pretty much it for number 2 from Bill. So TBD, I definitely need to treat them. They got a few signs of possible high mite counts without actually doing a mite count. A lot of capped brood has been chewed open, and possibly a laying worker. Not 100% sure, because there was only a few cells, like I said, that had multiple eggs. That whole patch of cells that had eggs, the majority only had 1, which is what you want to see. But not much brood, and no, well, I was going to say no sign of the queen, but I just didn't find her. All right, let's get into the next one, and hopefully they're looking a little better. All right, as you all saw, just finished up with what I'm going to call hive number 2. I'm going to come down here to hive number 3, which is configured in all 8-frame medium equipment. So, not that the bees mind, but I've never done that before. I always run a deep with a medium on top, or multiple mediums. But yeah, hey, the bees don't care, and this front porch activity looks fantastic. So same thing, I'm just going to get into them, conduct a hive inspection at the same time, and transfer the equipment over into mine. So yeah, let's see how hive number 3 is looking. And judging by the front porch activity with the bees bringing in pollen, I'd say they're probably looking pretty good. I really like Bill's entrance reducers. These are very smartly designed, permanent, or permanent enough, screwed in. Summertime, open it up. Wintertime, you can simply close the door and reduces them to the smallest. And then when Bill brought the hives over here, he just stuffed a few cotton balls in that small opening and used some tape. But that is a very, very smart design. I really like it. I might end up making some for myself this year. But anyway, yeah, let's get into number, what'd I say? 1, 2, I guess 3. Yeah, real quick, just something else to share with y'all. So Bill has made these inner covers that are maybe 2 inches tall with a screened, well, they're screened, But he just uses some of this for wintertime, which is pretty smart to retain the warmth. But look at this. What do y'all think? I think they probably need some more space. This colony's gonna have a ton of bees, and this should be pretty interesting to see what they got going on. All right, here we go. I'm definitely gonna introduce them to some smoke because there are a ton of bees up here. Yeah, we'll see. So with all my loss over the winter, I've not had a chance to inspect a colony like this yet, so this should be interesting. Oh yeah, this is full of brood. Well, some of it is. I'm gonna have to look at this later. Same feeder. It stinks to it really stinks to do this, but it's all part of keeping bees, I guess. That is a sign they either need more space or they were just using all that extra space that the inner cover provided. Alright, as you can see, I'm into the second box, and peeking down into the very bottom box, it seems like they really might not have much going on, but obviously there's a nice concentration of bees right there on those frames, so kind of be surprised if the queen isn't, if she's not on one of these frames here. No eggs. No eggs or anything on that one. I'm trying to make a decision to reduce these, to reduce their space. So it looks like they're just working. Yeah, it just looks like they're working this frame. It looks like they're just working this frame as well. No eggs. Alright, so I'm okay with putting that down in here. Really trying to figure out what's going on and where the queen is at. And I'm starting to think she might be in the inner cover, because there is a decent amount of bees still concentrated over there that hasn't moved over here yet. So let me investigate it a little bit and I'll get back with you. I'm just going to get into the bottom box real quick. I don't see much of anything really going on, but I suppose you never know. So since I'm here, let's just take a look. Yeah, not a whole lot going on in the bottom box, which is fine. I really just want to find the queen so I know they are queen right. Or, not that I know they're queen right, pretty sure I saw eggs somewhere, I just don't remember where right now. I just want to make sure I get the queen transferred over, so let me me put this box back together. Take a quick look at the bottom board just to see or make sure she's not hiding there. And then take a closer look at the inner cover that has decent concentration of bees on it. Well, that's a first. I have never seen another animal inside a beehive, but as folks say, they don't stand a good chance. And that looks like a cockroach of some sort that this bee is giving it to and escorting out of the hive. All right, I don't see the queen here, so let me clean this up. And I'm starting to think she might be hiding up here somewhere. I'm gonna let the camera roll because this might actually be interesting. So I'm gonna try and remove all this comb as carefully as I can. This is one of the reasons I am not interested in doing cutouts. I don't find this enjoyable at all. Alright, so far nothing. Alright, not to bore you all to death, I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to go through a few of the first few frames and see if, well, double check the egg situation. Pretty sure I saw, yeah, they had a ton of brood. Yeah, let me go through again and figure out what's going on. And this is kind of interesting. So the bees typically fan like that when they have a queen. So I'm just not seeing her. Alright, yeah, let me go through a few frames and just double check some stuff. Alright, I just looked through, or re-looked through the first 4 frames that have a ton of brood and eggs, so I'm confident they're queen right. I'm just going to give them some extra space to expand in with this deep box that I just removed from number 1 because they just don't need all the extra space right now. So I guess that's a good time to do that today. And like usual, everything should calm down in the next few hours. I just need to find about two more deep frames for them, and that's it for, I guess we're calling this number 3. All right, I'm gonna finish up with this, get into the last one for the day, and that's it for me. So we are down here at what will be hive number 4. Let's take a quick first look. So basically same configuration, and it looks like they have a decent amount of bees in the top box. Not as many as number 3 with the bridge comb, drawed comb and everything, but nonetheless, let's get into these and see what we have in store. Just remove the inner cover and some beautiful comb, and seems to be a lot of bees. So let's start getting them transferred over into my equipment and we'll see how things go. So I may have misread this configuration. I thought it was 1 deep and 1 medium, but it's actually 2 mediums. And I just removed the top medium here, and look at this. There are a ton of bees in this hive. So I'm actually gonna have to grab another empty medium, which I have plenty of, before I can really start moving things over. So I'm gonna take this medium, put it on top, the top medium, so I can get down in the deep, and then start transferring frames over into my equipment. All right, I'm just gonna let the camera roll since I'm really just focused on transferring the frames over. At the same time, I'll be looking at them, but it's not really an in-depth inspection by any means. Ooh, that's interesting. As I say, it's not an in-depth inspection. The bees have other plans sometimes. Oh yeah. So there are 2 swarm cells that I probably, well, they're built right on the frame, which I've never seen that before. And check that out. So I might end up making a split here today. I just need to ensure I find the original queen, move her, and then leave the swarm cells here to do their own thing. All right, so I got some work to do unexpectedly, but we'll make the most of it. So I'll be right back and show you anything interesting that comes up. All right, quick update. I did not find the queen in the bottom box, but I did find one capped swarm cell that will probably hatch here in the next few days, definitely this week, and two charged swarm cells that just have not been capped yet, that have a very nice and decent sized larva in it. So if you can't tell, or actually let me show you. So I'm going through the medium box, right? But I've taken another outer cover, inverted it to basically act as a bottom board. So in the event that I find the queen in this medium box and don't get her in time, at least I can keep her isolated to the box that I'm transferring the bees in. And the reason I'm doing this is if I can find the parent queen, another cell, and another one right there that's charged. So yeah, Bill was right. They are 100% ready to swarm. So if I can find the parent queen, I can probably make a split today. It's just a matter of finding the original queen. So if I find her, I'll move her, and then I'll leave all the swarm cells in place and just let them do their thing. Yeah, a ton of larvae on this frame. It's just a matter of finding the queen and another one. So that's what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. And I'm looking at very small larvae. So she might still be here. All right, like usual, I'll just I'll keep you all posted and share anything that's interesting. All right, well, that didn't take long. I'm on the very next frame, and there's 2 more swarm cells. So I think we're up to 8. And I still have a whole nother box to go. And I'm looking at some very small larvae. I'm looking for eggs. I'm just not looking that hard right now because I'm trying to get through these boxes. Where is she? That is quite the question. This is a beautiful and heavy frame of honey. Bill was feeding them sugar water, so it could be a combination of that as well. He did mention that. But man, that is heavy. Same here. All right, here we are. Last box. Good Lord, Bill. Thank you. Thank you for giving me such a strong colony. It's been a while, like I've said a few times, that I've been in a colony that is this strong, and it's nice. It's nice to get back in the bees like this, but man, it sure would be nice to find the queen. They may have swarmed. They have, I think I got up to 6 or 8 swarm cells. Some are capped. And if my memory serves me right, whenever I've experienced swarms or got into a hive and found a capped swarm cell, I rarely find the queen because they have already swarmed, and that might be the swarm I captured just the other day. So we shall see. This is all honey right here, which is great for them to have this many resources. Hopefully y'all can see that. Let me check the angle of the camera very quickly. I really doubt I'm gonna find the queen at this point, but I am happy that I got into the bees today and took advantage of this weather. I typically wouldn't get into the bees whenever the thermostat says it's 60, but I guess a good rule of thumb is if they're flying, I think should be okay. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna find the queen, and they may have swarmed already, like I said a few times. So it's really hard to say. Yeah, it's really hard to say what's happened. So anyway, they're all put back together, transferred over. I'll just keep a close eye on them now that I know how things are looking with the amount of swarm cells and everything I found. All right, everybody, that does it for me. It's just about 5 o'clock. Managed to get the 3 hives transferred into my equipment. This is what we're gonna call number 2. Reduce them into a single deep. I believe they were a deep with a medium, but the top box didn't have anything going on, so that's fine. We'll call this one number 3, and that's cool. That's what Paul marked it, at least the medium box for me last year. So that had, what did that have? Maybe a deep and 2 mediums, or no, that was all mediums. So I reduced the 3 mediums into 1, and then gave them a deep with drawn comb to hopefully build on very quickly. And then number 4, let's see, to the best of my memory, I'd have to watch the video and count the cells again, but they had probably anywhere from 6 to 8 swarm cells, with 1 or 2 capped, a few on the way. And hold on a sec, I'm starting to think they may have, there's a good chance they may have been the swarm that I caught the other day. Because in the past, when I found that many swarm cells in a hive, the hive had already swarmed, because that capped swarm cell that will probably hatch, or capped queen cell I guess, will probably hatch in the next few days, is enough for the bees to already make a decision to move on. And then we got old number 1 down here, so a little extra space in the bee yard now that I moved Bill's bees from his equipment into mine. I'll have to replenish all these empties for Bill, fill the deeps and the mediums with frames, which I have plenty of. But yeah, that was more than I thought I was going to do today. In fact, I didn't think I was going to do anything with the bees today, but I figured with the weather right around 60 degrees, why not get out here and try to get some stuff done while I have the time. In summary, basically all the hives that Bill gave me, I just have to keep a close eye on. I didn't find any of the queens. The one that I just got done talking about, I guess we'll call that 4. Like I said, quite a few swarm cells. They had eggs though, so maybe she just swarmed, not sure. 3 and 2, kind of the same thing. Just have to keep an eye on them. I'll get out into the hives next week, so I'll be on a weekly schedule, a weekly routine now that it's spring, or about to be, and hopefully I can make some splits. I was really hoping to split number 4, but due to not being able to find the queen and not too many frames of eggs, even though they had swarm cells, I just want to play it safe, let nature take its course. If they swarm, they swarm. They may have already swarmed, like I said a few times, so I'll just keep an eye on them and see what they're up to next week. But that is it for me today. So quite a few hours in the bees this afternoon, kind of unexpectedly, because I wasn't really planning on doing much today since I was just out here yesterday. And it all started with condensing number 1 into a single medium 5-frame box, just to kind of give them less space to work, less space to manage and heat. And hopefully that's enough to kick the queen into overdrive, and hopefully she ramps up production and I can get them into some 10-frame equipment here in the near future. But yeah, that's it for me. All right, everybody. See y'all next time.